All right. Well, I feel like I like it when they can see you guys too. So I'm going to come stand out here. Hey, can you guys hear me if I'm back here? Okay.
Yeah, I can.
Okay. So actually today, I want to kind of have like a little bit of discussion and kind of connect where we left off with space. And now that we're going to be talking about plants and eventually we're going to start talking about animals. But for a while, we're going to talk about plants. So while we're talking about living things here on Earth, remember that we talked about that Earth is in that, what was it called, that special area where Grayson, the Goldilocks zone where everything is just right, not too hot, not too cold. Okay, we're just right. Z.
Have you heard of the animal complaints thing? My dad, when I got my dad compared said how there's the animal kingdom and the pet kingdom, and he said that they have similarities. Like he compared corn and the deer because you raise them and nurture them, and then you harvest them. So,
Okay. So Zeke was talking about how his dad, when he went hunting last weekend, was comparing plants and animals and their like life cycle and whatever to each other, saying that you could find similarities between corn and deer because they're being raised and harvested, and but so in a way you don't necessarily think of harvesting for a deer, but I guess if you're hunting a deer for food, then you are in a way harvesting it. Okay, but so kind of piggybacking off of where we left off on the Goldilocks zone, we know that Earth is the only place in our solar system that could possibly even have any living things, okay? And we know that the sun provides us just the right amount of heat, right? If we were closer to the sun, we would get too much.
And water would boil.
Water would boil. We would literally melt or boil.
Off the ground like oil.
If we were further away, water would freeze. It would be too cold. We would not have enough sunlight. And
we had a perfect orbit.
If we did not have our sun, how would life as we know it change? If the sun was no longer there, Kendall, how would life change without the sun?
Because if we don't even have the sun, everything will die and it will be very dark.
It'll be very dark. Everything will die. Let's talk about that. Why would everything die?
because it would be cold.
It would be cold.
And the water would freeze.
But does a plant need it to be warm? I see evergreen trees at Christmas time.
Yeah.
Well,
Not every plant needs it to be warm.
Yeah,
But
they need-
Lily, why is everything going to die? You're right, Kendall. Everything's going to die without the sun. But tell me more.
Because they need sun to grow.
they need
Okay,
light.
plants need sun to grow. Do I need sun to grow though?
No.
No,
No. So am I going to die?
No, you need food and water.
you're gonna
Parker says yes. Am I going to die? Susie, am I going to die?
Yes.
Kristen, hang on, Josie, pause. Kristlyn, I told you wrong. You don't need to be on with me right now because what I'm doing today, well, never mind. Yeah, you can stay on with me today. You also have a science lesson that's assigned to you that's a mystery science video from Monday. It'll say Science 11-2 on it. Okay, anyway, okay, so Josie, go ahead. Why would humans die, yes or no?
Yes, because plants need sunlight and we need plants. Like trees, we can't live without trees because they give us air. So we would be extinct if we didn't have plants. So therefore, we will definitely need the sun. Also, something else.
All right, pause for a
Also-
second. Pause. I'm pausing you. Pausing Josie. All right, so listen carefully. Josie said the trees need the sunlight because to grow, right? We know any plant needs the sunlight to grow. The trees are what give off oxygen that we breathe. Okay, so we need the trees for oxygen. But we eat the plants. But hang on. Do I have to eat plants? What if I just want to eat burgers all day?
The McDonald's.
Well,
They're made of
Okay.
the animals have to eat plants.
But Grayson says the animals have to eat the plants. Okay, so I can eat a cow, except that then when the cows are gone, the cows need to eat. What do cows eat?
Vegetables.
Grass.
Grass.
Which they're vegetables.
Okay. Okay, well, I'll eat chicken. What do the chickens eat?
Vegetables.
Seeds.
Corn. Oh, wait, corn's a plant too. Darn it.
They're
Okay.
basically just.
So the sun feeds the plants,
Plant
and then
feeds
the
us.
plants feed us and the animals.
What if you
And so eventually, if the plants all die,
we
then
all
the
die.
source of our food is going to eventually
What if you
die out as well.
What if
Okay.
you want to eat some bacon all day? Pigs.
But the pigs
Pigs
eat, well, the pigs will eat anything,
Yeah. Sure.
truly. But they will eventually run out of, I mean, they can't just eat dirt. They have to eat some sort of plant or other animal, something.
Nutrients.
Yeah, something with nutrients in it, okay? All right, Josie, unpause.
Okay, so also, you would need, we would just drift off into space because we orbit around the sun, and that balances with inertia. And if we didn't have gravity, then we would just drift off into space because of inertia.
Yes,
And we use the
that too. Without the sun, there's nothing holding us into orbit, nor any of the planets, and we all just venture out into space, and we are no longer a solar system. And yes, it would get very, very cold. Probably before we ran out of food, we would just straight, we would freeze.
We would just be in space.
Animals would freeze. The plants are going to die because they don't have energy to make food. They get food energy from the sun. Okay.
But we got blankets.
We got blankets and we got heaters.
We
Okay.
got clothes. But the heater will
Will the heater eventually run out?
No, but you got electricity.
We got electricity.
But the
Electricity isn't powered by the sun. This is a good question. Now, back in the day, people would have for sure died. Now, let's never mind the inertia and floating out into space. Let's just say we don't have the sun. Because think about this. Think about Alaska and the places like very far north. They are dark for months out of the entire year.
And right now.
And they don't die.
They have
And it's very, very cold there. But the people in Alaska don't just die, but it is dark for 6 months of the year in Alaska.
That's all
It's
time.
right now.
And they don't die. So, with all of our modern things that we have,
If we went
electric blankets, we have electricity, we have lights. Hang on. Don't we have greenhouses and fake solar power?
Wait, so they're nocturnal?
Do we die without the sun?
No.
Now, we're going to float off into space, and that's going to be a problem, but I'm ignoring that problem for right now. Just the fact that the sun's energy, do we have artificial sunlight? Have we created artificial sunlight to help plants grow in greenhouses?
Flashlights.
Yes.
Lamp.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, there is artificial sunlight. Think about the people that lay in tanning beds. Like,
Yep.
how many of your mamas laid in a tanning bed before?
I don't
Raise
know
your
that.
hand, raise your hand, raise your hand. Miss Bab has.
Really?
Yeah, not lately, I'm really pale, not lately. It's been a while, Gray, thanks for noticing. But, okay, all right, let me come over here to you guys. Josie, thoughts?
So, also, eventually we would run out of all that stuff. And that stuff is good for winter. This would be much colder than winter. Like, it would be in the negatives, super, 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 super low, where that stuff, if you had like 1,000 blankets on you, wouldn't be enough. Like, you just practically freeze up.
Yeah, I already. Good point. At my mom's.
Winning, Josie. High five. Virtual high five. Fiona, or Kaylin, I'll go to you first. You're unmuted. Kaylin, thoughts?
I wasn't gonna say anything. Fiona has her hand up.
Oh, you're just telling me Fiona. Okay, Fiona, go.
I was going to say that maybe we could somehow invent something to where it could make sunlight and the sunlight could make it warm and like we were actually on Earth, but maybe we could make something to where it could heat up. If we made enough of them, it could heat it up to enough to where we could actually go outside.
Okay. We do have, sorry guys, we do have artificial sunlight. They use it in like greenhouses and things to help plants grow better, okay? But would we be able to produce enough fast fast enough to save everybody? No. Population is going to greatly decrease. And that helps us. But think about stop with that. It's not about the election. You calm it down. What about the cows? Can I put a solar lamp in the field where the cows are all wandering around?
No, the dye.
No.
You
And
can
then if
make
I
one,
had
but
hay
it wouldn't work.
out there, all the cows are gonna like huddle together in that one spot. But then like, again, they're out of grass. I can like make some artificial grass, I guess, and feed it to the cows. But are those cows really gonna be healthy?
No,
eating
it's
artificial
fine.
grass?
What's that?
And then we're gonna eat sickly, unhealthy cows. How are we gonna feel? Lily's making a really yucky
Put your own
face.
fast.
Okay, so our quality of life, would it stay the same? Maybe we could just stay inside with our solar lamps,
By ourselves.
and maybe we turn on every space heater, and maybe it's still so stinking cold we can barely move. Do you want to live like that though? Just like huddled to so cold with your family in a blanket, a space heater, and a solar light? Like, is that how we live?
No.
No.
We don't want that. Okay?
Miss Bab, I'm gonna buy
So-
a jacuzzi just in cases. Shut it. Lock myself in there.
Then you
Turn on the
get too
jets.
wrinkly. Yeah, then you get too wrinkly.
Then you look like a
Grandpa
little
is
man.
better than freezing. Yeah. But you'd be grandpa. Yeah,
All right.
you look like a grandpa.
And my head
Get out your science books at this point. Get out your science books.
We haven't got our science book up in a while.
It's been a minute. We're gonna get everybody. You guys, science book pages.
Look back.
We're gonna go pages 144 through 145. I'll write that for you guys. Kaylin, you don't have your science book. You're just gonna be a good listener.
Okay.
Cool. Pages 144 through 145. I'm probably
so
going
cool.
to present.
Decomposer. I know what a decomposer is.
Good. We're gonna be learning all about that.
It's
for
a
several
worm.
It's more than a worm. You're going to learn even more.
Yeah.
A worm is part of it, but not this week. Worm is coming in like a couple weeks. I don't know why it requires so much talking to open a book. Thanks, Sophie. Thanks, Sophie. Okay. Page 144. Page 144. The path that energy and nutrients follow in an ecosystem is called a food chain. Food chains model the feeding relationship between organisms in an ecosystem. Okay? Hang on a second. You need the word ecosystem, I think. You don't have it yet. Okay.
Do we write down food chain?
Okay. Food chain. The path that energy and nutrients follow. Get out your science journal. Kaylin, I know you don't have yours. Just grab a piece of paper if you have one and write this down. I'm going to present for you guys. Food chain. Food chain. It's right out of your book. Path that energy and nutrients follow in an ecosystem. So, if you think about that, you guys just told me that basically every single food chain starts with the sun. And the sun helps the plants grow, right? Okay, sunlight helps the plants grow. Now, from the plant, we have, let's see here. I'll draw my little moo cow.
That's a cow.
He's a cow. He's a stick cow.
Okay. It looks like a swing set.
with a head on.
I just had to mention that.
I'll give him a little belly and some udders. Okay, now he's a cow. Or
There. That's good enough.
it's good enough, okay? So the cow eats the plants, and then we are very happy to eat the hamburgers, right? Eat all the hamburgers, okay? But there are other things too. There could be like, okay, here's some grass down here, and maybe some of these seeds from the flowers fall to the ground, and maybe I have a little bug down here, and he eats some of those seeds. It's a little ladybug. We'll make him a ladybug for Lily. Okay. Is the important thing that I drew a stick bead with a mohawk? No, stop. Okay. All right. So, could my food chain include a bug that's eating the seeds? And then, could it also have a, let's see here if I can do this. I can't. It looks more like a dinosaur.
It looks like a unicorn.
And it's got a big poofy tail. It's a squirrel.
Oh, the squirrel.
He's a
That
happy
doesn't
squirrel.
look too bad.
Have arms. Let's give him some arms. Okay. Does the squirrel eat the bug?
Probably.
Yeah.
Bug doesn't eat the squirrel. Okay. Well, I drew it the wrong way. Okay. Squirrel eats the bug. Okay.
Well, the squirrel's already dead.
All right.
Bug.
The bug doesn't eat the squirrel. Okay. Squirrel eats the bug. What might eat a squirrel? Maybe a
deer.
fox or a coyote for sure. I'm just going to write fox. I'm not going to draw a fox. Okay. So, do you see that a food chain, it's not just a straight line, right? It can branch off in other ways. We don't only eat cows. Cows don't only eat plants or flowers. Okay. Bugs don't only eat seeds. Okay. So, but the food chain can branch off. And so it says the path that energy and nutrients. We need the energy from the sun because plants use that energy and change it to food that they eat. Okay. And then we use the plant energy and nutrients to make our bodies stronger, faster, better. Okay. So, all right. So that's the definition of food chain. You didn't stay on the right page. Okay. Hang on. I'm not, you're writing words you don't even need, so stop. Okay. All right, guys, listen. Energy flows in one direction in a food chain. Once energy is used by an organism, it leaves the organism's body as heat, and it becomes unavailable for other organisms in the ecosystem. So when they say it only goes one way, that's not me, I don't have that hair. Okay, now it's me. Okay.
Beautiful hair.
All right.
Make some clothes.
Now, I mean, I need to comb it. I got some bed head, but it's okay. Can I create my own energy without all of this?
No.
No, I shrivel up and die.
Actually,
I'm so hungry.
unless you're Albert Einstein.
I'm done, right?
Unless you're Albert Einstein.
No.
He would.
Guys, Jason, stop going out in left field. Just answer the question, yes or no, man. Okay? I'm not Albert Einstein. I'm Miss Babb. I'm a 5th grade teacher. Without other things to eat, can I create my own energy? No. I would die.
No.
Can a cow create his own energy?
No.
No. Can the squirrel or the fox? No. So I can't say, oh, it's a good day and I am full of energy.
No.
I might be able to do that for a couple of days, but then I'm going to start wearing down. So can I pass energy to a cow?
No.
Can I go out and be like, hey, cow, here you go. High five, cow. No, there's no way for me. Now, if the cow eats me,
See?
then I would be giving the cow energy. But then I'm dead.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
and cows don't generally eat humans. So Okay, so energy can only flow this one way from the sun through all of the plants and then to all of the living mammals and other creatures. Okay, only one direction. Other talking stops. Nope. Okay, carrying on. The energy in a food chain starts with the sun. It is the energy source for almost all organisms on Earth. Producers are organisms that use the sun's energy to make sugar and oxygen. Producers are at the base of every food chain. That's a word we want to write down, producers. Okay? Now, if producers are the ones that use the sun's energy, which thing in my diagram is a producer? Parker, which one? The flower, yeah. Flowers, plants, trees, grass, all of the plants, those are producers. So I'm going to erase this. I don't know why so many of you are talking. Okay, and we're going to write down producers and use that definition that's in your book. That's the next word I want you to know. This is going to be super important to memorize. Hint, hint. This is important to memorize. You will need to know these words for a quiz that happens tomorrow.
What? Yeah. Don't even get time to study.
You can take your notebook home tonight. That's why we're going over it today. All right. What was the definition? They are organisms that use the sun's energy to make sugar and oxygen.
I thought we were doing producers.
We are. Organisms that use sun's energy to make sugar and oxygen. You can also put in like little parentheses, they are all the plants. Okay? They're all the plants. Producers is a fancy word for all the plants.
You know what producer sounds like to me?
And it's easy to remember. Producer and plant both start with P. Yay. Okay. So producers, they are the bottom of the food chain. We have to have the plants. Without the plants, there's no way for us to get the nutrition that we need from the sun. We can get the sun's heat, but we can't get the nutrition. If there's not a plant, then there's nothing for us to eat.
Like berries.
Okay? All right.
They're blackberries.
Continuing on. During photosynthesis, DJ was all over this in our conversation yesterday. During photosynthesis, producers such as plants and algae build sugar molecules out of carbon dioxide and water. So, again, I think you guys already knew this. Plants breathe the opposite of we do. They suck in the carbon dioxide and give off oxygen. We breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide. So it's this nice little system that we have with the plants where they need what we have and we have what they need. And it's like a little.
Oh, that reminds me.
That reminds Sam. Sam Curley's got something to say, everybody.
Yeah. So when the English people first landed in America.
When English people first landed in America.
And they wanted the Native American stuff.
They wanted Native American stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
But.
Stop interrupting.
I think he's done.
Yeah, but.
Yeah, but. But.
No, but when they wanted stuff from the Native Americans, and the Native Americans wanted stuff from them.
Okay. Oh, so the new settlers wanted stuff from Native Americans, and the Native Americans wanted stuff from the settlers. He's making a connection, a science to social studies connection. Okay. All right. Thanks, Sam. All right, here we go.
I got a question. I got
Macy has a question. Does it have anything to do with science?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So you know the word producers?
Producers.
It sounds like the producers from the TV show.
Okay, so we do know the word producers, and they have a job on movies and TV. They're the people that pay for movies and TV. But this isn't the
That's
same
what I
thing.
thought of.
No, you might think of that, but it's not the same thing at all.
That's
Okay,
what I was gonna say.
carrying on.
Miss Bab,
Yeah.
is there any connection to both of them?
No. The
Okay.
word producer from a movie and producer from this. No. I don't think there's any connection there, Josie. Okay, Macy. Come on, together. All right. The sugar molecules from the plants are the original source of food for consumers. Wait, what's a consumer? Write that one down. A consumer is any animal that eats plants or other animals. My friends that are talking so much, I hope you're writing these down. They are on a quiz tomorrow. Consumer, what did it say? Any animal that eats plants or other animals, okay? Any animal that eats plants or other
Miss Bab.
animals. All right, guess what? We are consumers too. We're not animals, but we do eat plants and animals. So we are considered consumers too. Okay? In my diagram that I erased, squirrel, consumer, cow, consumer, fox, consumer, bug, consumer, people, consumer. Yes, who was hollering at me over here? DJ, go for it.
We are also technically the providers to the plants because when we die, our bodies decompose and then we can turn into a kind of like fertilizer.
Wait just a second, DJ. We're not there yet. We're going to get one more word. Okay? You're correct. We're not there yet. Okay. All right. So, sun flows to the producers. Okay? The sunshine flows, sun's heat energy flows to the producers, the plants. They use it up, they turn it into sugar molecules.
I love
Nom, 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 nom. All of us consumers, us and the animals, eat them up. Okay? But there's more to it. DJ, if you were listening, some of you were talking, but if you were listening to DJ just gave us a hint, okay? Animals that eat other producers are called herbivores. Okay? Herbivores. Squirrels, some birds, some insects, and grazing animals. Okay? So that is animals that only eat plants are herbivores. You don't have to know this for the test tomorrow, but it's just a good thing to keep in mind. We've heard of these when we talk and learn about dinosaurs, right? When you guys learn about dinosaurs, you learn herbivores, omnivores, carnivores. Same thing, it's not just with dinosaurs, it's with everything that eats something, which is all of us, okay? Herbivores are the ones that only eat plants. Carnivores are the ones that only eat meat. And omnivores are the ones that eat both plants and animals. We would be omnivores. Unless you're a strict vegetarian, and then you are also an herbivore.
I want to be a
But you're-
vegetarian.
Okay, all right. Animals, I'm still reading in your book on page 145. Animals that eat other animals are called carnivores. Bobcats and hawks are carnivores. Animals that eat both plants and animals are omnivores. Raccoons, mice, and crabs. Interesting. Didn't know about the crabs.
Do we need to know herbivores?
You do not need to know herbivore, omnivore, or carnivore for the test. That's just fun knowledge to have in your brain. But you don't need to write that down for the test. Hang on. Z.
Why did you say that human don't?
We're living for the purposes of what this is talking. We fit within that definition. We're not animals, but we're considered consumers.
We're animals.
No, we're mammals.
We're mammals.
Animals are animals.
Our animals.
Out
Our animals.
animals. And what we say, like I'm going to see the animals at the zoo. There's not a person in a cage. Okay. So by the common definition of animal, we are not an animal because we aren't a wild thing that needs to be caged or taken care of. We can take care of ourselves. We are an intelligent
Like monkeys.
consumer
Deers
Okay.
can take care of
Mental
themselves.
hospital.
until you come along.
That's loud.
All right. Last paragraph on page 145. There are also decomposers in a food chain. Listen, guys. Decomposers break down dead or decaying plant animal material. You do need to know this one. Decomposers break down dead and decaying plant and animal material. Decomposers break down dead or decaying plant
Oh my god, that's hard.
and animal material. Dead or decaying, it's in your book. Dead or decaying plant and animal material.
I had that wrote down a while ago.
Okay? It says that decomposers include fungi, bacteria, termites, and many worms.
What's
Josie,
fungi?
you were right.
Uh-oh.
Fungus.
You know, I hate worms.
A fungi. Sean.
Funguses are mushrooms, basically.
Fungi, mushrooms, fungus. We're going to talk about the decomposers next week. We're going to really dig in with decomposers next week. The fungus guys, the fun guys. Sean, the fun guy. Ha ha ha.
That's why I was saying when we
Hey, Sean, I don't know if that's rude or a
we turn into fertilizer.
compliment. Do what, Dee?
When we
I'm sorry, I can't hear DJ.
fertilizer.
Yes, the decomposer. When the decomposers do their job, that's how we get fertilizer. Okay, Maggie.
We are technically animals and we act like animals.
Maggie says that the people in this room technically are animals and act as such.
I'm
And
not an animal on that side.
So you are
quiet
an
mouse.
animal.
But she thinks she's a quiet mouse now that I moved her into the back corner.
No, she is not.
She's doing better.
Maybe
But you
she's
have you.
not.
But you know what happened when I moved you and turned you around?
It's been a battle, okay?
It's been jabberjaws. Been jabberjaws.
Help that.
Okay. We're struggling with the seating arrangement over here. Is what you guys need to know. Josie, I need to. We're listening to Josie.
So will we do an experiment on this? Because I feel like whenever we learn about dirt and stuff in class, we always do an experiment with like dirt.
Josie, I have experiments.
Yes.
Don't you worry about that.
But
Okay.
just so you know, I don't have a big bucket of dirt laying in my yard. I do have a lot of dirt in my yard, but I don't have a bucket of dirt in my
I'm
yard.
gonna have like next week and the week after. I will let you guys know what you need because there will be things that you can do to do the experiments from home. Okay. And if you don't have the things, then I will make sure that they are here for you guys to come pick up. Okay.
Do we need dirt?
You need dirt. No, you don't need dirt.
Because I could go.
What
take
you are going to need is next week. No, next week you just need a piece of bread. But hopefully
Waste a
Don't
whole
you-
entire piece of bread?
you just need a piece of bread.
Okay,
Okay.
I can do that.
I could do that.
I would prefer, like, you know, like if you buy like the loaf of bread, like it's like bunny bread or Wonder Bread, and it's like the kind you get for sandwiches, and it's got like a lot of like preservatives in it so it doesn't go bad. I don't want that kind of bread. I want one that's like those like the French bread, like the like a fresh bread. Like if you go to Walmart to like the actual like bakery part and get like the bakery bread that they make, you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, from Paris.
From Paris. Okay. Yeah, you don't have to go to Paris.
I'm gonna
But
tell
yeah,
the person what
bread. Okay. If you don't have that kind of bread at home, I will have some up here and you can come grab a piece of the fancy bread from Paris.
Afterwards, will we be able to eat it?
No, you're not going to eat it. We're gonna experiment. We're gonna do naughty things to the bread. We don't want the bread. That bread will not be edible when we are done with it.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. Here's the deal. So, understand, guys, that what we talked about, the flow of energy, and this is for all of us, okay? Lily. This isn't necessarily for all of us. Lily, question.
At my church one time, we got pieces of bread, and we put hand sanitizer on the piece of bread, and then we left the other one plain, and it for like 2 weeks. We did that in which one would get moldier.
What happened?
The one with the non-sanitizer.
Was moldy first. Okay, Lily said they did an experiment one time where they coated one of the pieces of bread in hand sanitizer and they left one alone to see if the hand sanitizer kept it from being moldy. And true fact, hand sanitizer kept it from getting moldy longer than the regular bread. Okay, I want to talk for a minute. You guys put your hands down. I love you.
I had my hand up before everyone.
Zeke had his hand up for everyone and he's feeling sad right now. Zeke, what do you need?
Well, it was before, like, it was a response to that conversation we had before. If you, like, when I come along to kill a deer, do you think when someone comes along to kill a person, do you think they can protect themselves?
I'm going to keep talking. All right. Thanks for sharing, Zeke.
No,
Okay.
skip them.
The flow of energy through an ecosystem. So an ecosystem is like a group of like organisms that live together. Okay. So ecosystem starts with the sunshine. It goes first to the producers, then it goes to the consumers, and then from there, the waste stuff that's left over goes to the decomposers. Okay.
So the food chain is.
So the food chain starts with the sun, goes to the producers, goes to the consumers, and then it goes to the decomposers in that order. Okay. Now, that's what I've got for today. Sam.
So I imagine it like this. The producers are the movie, then it goes down to the directors, then it goes down to the actors. Then it goes down to the people that watch.
Okay. So Sam's trying to still like tie this in with movie producers. And he says, well, there's producers, and then there's directors, and then there's actors, which is true, but has nothing to do with science.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay, he just wanted to throw that out there in case you guys were curious about how it works on a movie set. Okay. Josie.
2 things. One is a vulture a decomposer?
A vulture? No.
And 2,
Consumer.
because
Vulture
I
would
didn't
be-
know, because
He
it's
is-
dead animal.
He.
I know the
Okay.
Also, we haven't read about scavengers.
No. See, so vulture would be more of a scavenger. They feed off of the dead and decaying things, but there's a key difference between a scavenger and a decomposer. The decomposer is going to have an extra step where they release nutrients back into the food system. We'll
right.
learn about
Like worms when they poop.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. No, that's the thing. That's literally a sentence that I will say 2 weeks from now. Mystery Doug is going to talk about that. Mystery Doug is going to say worm. In 2 weeks, Mystery Doug will say worm poop. Get excited.
Did you have to tell me that?
Yeah.
It happens. Everybody poops. Even the worms. Even the worms. Okay. All right, friends. This is what I've got for science today. Tomorrow, we will have a quiz over a little bit about what we talked about yesterday. Or not yesterday, 2 days ago. For you guys, yesterday. For you guys, 2 days ago. We watched a video, and it says that we're going to do an experiment about air because we're trying to figure out if a tree actually eats air.
They don't.
Macy says they don't.
Well, they do actually because they
Their
have.
leaves do.
They have these little things. They do. Who
they
remembers
suck
what those
them
little things are called?
I don't know.
Anybody? Bueller?
Bueller?
Stomata. Stomatas are the little mouths. And where are these little mouths?
They're
They're called little cells.
Maggie, where are the little mouths at?
They're at the bottom on the
Bottom of the
I
leaf.
know where they're at.
The bottom of
bottom of the leaf.
the leaves. Yes.
The
The
stem.
little stomata, the little tree mouths are on the bottom of the leaves, and they're like
The stem.
just eating up all the air, and they make the tree. It's like they're inflating the tree. They're like pumping it up. Okay. Except that it's not exactly it. DJ said it a lot fancier yesterday. But Sophie, yes.
Sounds like a beer.
Yes. All right. Now, so we're gonna do an experiment tomorrow. Finish up our video about the tree, and then we'll have a little quizzy quiz on it. You will, for the quizzy quiz, want to know these words that I projected on the board. Okay. So if you didn't copy those down, you will want to copy those down. Those are going to be very important for you to know. Josie, yes, ma'am.
I have two things. So, one, if they're doing this,
They're not actually doing that. I just did that.
Okay. All right. So
I
you
think they're
canceled
just
out
there.
my question.
No,
So,
I was just being ridiculous.
okay. So how about in the winter? How does it get anything? Because there's no leaves in the winter.
Oh. So, are they actually growing and expanding during the winter months? That's a really good question, Josie. Keep that in mind, and maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow when we finish the video.
They're hibernating.
Okay, so maybe plants hibernate too.
But they're not really falling on the ground.
But hang on, because what Josie just said, can they eat during the winter? They lost all their leaves.
Mm.
And
They die and die off.
But they're not dead because they come back.
Mm-hmm.
Not all of them.
Also,
Yeah, they hibernate like bears do. They get all of their food in the summertime, and then in the wintertime, they sleep the entire time, and then they go back out and get more food.
Mm-hmm.
Like
But-
bears.
Okay, so Fiona has this theory that the leaves are basically kind of like bears. In the winter, they go into hibernation. They die off. They get all the food they need for the tree to survive through the whole winter. And then in the spring, the leaves come back out and start gaining more nutrition for the tree again. Okay, it's a really, really, really good thought that I think is probably correct. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Maggie.
what if the trees have those like on the branches or like and the cells?
The stomatas,
The stomatas, yeah. What if the trees have them and during the winter they can still?
they're not on the bark part. They're only on the leaves. Okay, the stomata is only on the leaves. What? What about the roots?
Yeah, what about
Okay, so we know that plants need some other things too, not just the air. They need the nutrients from the soil. They need sunlight. They need water. So in the early stages of a plant, before it has the ability to bring in air, it is growing solely based on nutrients from the soil, sunlight, and water. Then it has, at some point in its life, flowering bits on the every plant has some sort of flowering thing. Even like if you think about like the evergreen trees, like the Christmas type trees, they don't have leaves, they have those pine needles. But the pine cones, and when they grow their pine cones, there's like leaves around the pine cone and flowering bits to the pine cone. And so that's where the stomata is on those. Okay. All right. So Josie, another question.
last question, I think. So, if there was only one last leaf on the tree and you could reach it, and you just like totally cupped your hand over it where it couldn't get any air at all, and you stood there for like months, would it not grow?
Yes. Correct. And like if I were to just take like if I
Like
had
it
like a
wouldn't
little
grow? Or yes, it would grow.
no, it would die.
Okay.
Or it wouldn't grow. If it was a full grown tree, it wouldn't kill the tree that you blocked one leaf, but that tree wouldn't necessarily be getting any growth. Now, if you thought about like a small little plant, like if I just had like a little plant on my desk or something in like a little pot on my desk, and I like covered up the stomata, all of it, and it wasn't getting any air, it would wither and die.
Wait, so can we actually do that? Like we put
Can we murder a plant by covering up its stomata?
Yes.
Yes,
Let me see if I can find a plant.
let's like put.
Plants don't have feelings. They're like the fish we talked about earlier. They might. Lily says we don't know if the plants have feelings, and I shouldn't murder a plant. Okay, that's what I got for today. Tomorrow we will continue talking about this. We'll do an experiment with the air. We will finish the video, and we will have a quiz. Okie dokie pokies.
All right.
All right, I will see you guys later. Have a good lunch. Bye.